Welcome everyone to At Work 2014. Australia is at an inflection point. How do we compete in a world where it's becoming increasingly difficult to win?
You've got to own what's next. You've got to be willing to innovate and advance yourself and kind of own what the next themes are. And one of the most important themes we see around the world is just the merger between the physical world and the analytical world. If you go to bed at night thinking you're an industrial company, you're going to wake up the next morning as a software and analytical company. It's just as simple as that.
As Peter Fuda says in his book on transformative leadership, don't be an actor, be the director. Watch yourself in your conversations with others.
If the figures of Alzheimer's disease weren't frightening enough, just last month, the NFL released its formal estimate that about 1/3 of US NFL players will dement, will lose their brains.
Every job, even your job, even though if you're in management or the humanities, if you're an entertainer or Beyonce, whatever you may be, your job has an element of technology and data science in it.
Instead of you and I being connected, what would it mean if machines could be connected?
Do you realize that your chance of death is much higher if you're admitted to hospital on the weekend? Right, it is. If indeed it is poor care that is the cause of weekend death, then we should see a spike in deaths that disappears on Monday when you get re-exposed to the A-team.
There's 3 million cars in Sydney, I think more than 3 million cars in Sydney. Why can't they give you a ride? We're now making those assets that are already in the city, we're making them work. Our software is making the city work better.
Aviation is a high technology industry, but innovations happen incrementally over time. And there's a lot of experimentation. Some things work, some things really don't work. But we're always learning.
If we're going to unlock the future reserves and resources of this country, we've got to go into more and more difficult, more and more challenging rocks. The rock we're going into here is shale. We're using technology, some of that GE technology, to unlock our resources, to bring them to market. We're passionate about doing it sustainably. We're passionate about doing it safely. And also by doing so, we want to drive the wealth of Australia and also, of course, provide for the growing energy needs of Asia.
Really, I would say at 3.5 or 4% GDP growth in the US, we solve every problem. Yeah. Budget deficit, Medicare, we solve every problem. At 2.2% GDP growth, we solve no problems. It's just arithmetic. So that's, I think, that's what I hope you do at the G20.
I was going to say, did someone take those notes? Because that's exactly what I want to say. What are you doing in 3 weeks' time?
You're on your own, brother, on that one. So,